So you guys said that you scouted for aggressive Marshall and passive Marshall. What did you get, and how did your players respond to it?
I mean, they played out a little bit more than I probably thought they might, but they were still a little bit conservative and kind of in their contained structure in terms of how they defended us. And the longer the first half went on, the more solutions we were able to find, the more control we were able to have in the game. So expected probably a change from them in that aspect of things at halftime that didn't come. And obviously, it said to the guys like the best way to get over the line here is to score the second, score the third. It's nice when they do what they're told and put the ball in the back of the net. It's been a bit of a challenge for us the last 5 games. And look, as great as tonight is, I hate to have to say it, but we should have been winning a conference title tonight with the results that we didn't get at Georgia State and Kentucky. But we've given ourselves a chance, and we've given ourselves an advantage to certainly make sure that the seniors get to play here again and conceivably play here again against Marshall, which will be a pretty cool thing to do should they advance and obviously potentially meet in the semi-final at some point. So we're obviously very, very happy with tonight because like as well as we did, Marshall was still a very, very good team. And yeah, that was a difficult game that we really showed up for. So I'm proud of the guys.
I just want to quickly note though that they had 1 shot on goal. I think, is that right? One shot on goal, and it was a generous shot on goal. 2 on goal.
2 generous shots on goal.
2. I mean, you guys shut these guys out, and they went to the national final last year. You've been talking about how good your defense has been, but was this a complete performance from them?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we picked a team. We looked at their group and kind of identified that there may, realistically they were probably going to have 3 players that had played in this fixture before, and one of the deciding factors for us for the lineup was playing players that played in this game before, and we had 8. So with respect to what they did last year, it is a different team for Marshall. It's a slightly different team for us as well. It's the nature of college athletics and college soccer right now. So I know Chris well. I know he recruits well. I know that's a really, really good group of players that we've just beat. And today was our day, and certainly we got the better of them. So I don't want to say much more than that because there's a good chance we will face them again, and I'm sure they'll adjust, and we'll have to do it again, and it'll be another really, really close game. And we've been in this situation before, right? We beat them 5-2 in 2023, and they had their vengeance in the conference final. So I'm sure they'll want a rematch, and I'll be more than happy to oblige.
Thoughts on the way Marcus played tonight?
Yeah, I mean, awesome. He what's that? 5 goals for him, I think, in his time. I know he wished he had a 6th, and I actually made a joke the other day that he'd only scored 1 career hat trick. So it was time he showed up, but. As an outlet in man-for-man coverage, almost in kind of when he was in his single isolation, they just couldn't deal with him. So his capacity to show up and be a man today was really, really big. And I was going to be curious how Marcus responded today, knowing that it was senior night, knowing how special his time here has been and how he reflects on that. And I was hoping that the emotion of it and the occasion of it wouldn't get too much for him, and then obviously he goes and does that. So check. So no, incredibly pleased for him, and a good point in the season for him to have a game like that and hopefully kick him on to make this thing last as long as humanly possible this season.
How about for Dante? Morgantown kid.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? That's so funny. That's again, I have to make sure I give a lot of praise to Nick Scargill because. I mean, we were in the office talking about that decision and who we were going to play, and at one point I was stupid enough to say, should we literally just flip a coin, because they've both been in really, really good form, and it was that deciding factor of Dante's played in this game before, local boy. Again, he has experience in the fixture, and it was such a razor thin decision, but. Again, what a special moment for a Morgantown kid to go and score a really, really crucial goal at the stage of the game that he did, and a memory that will last him a lifetime.
Dan, there's a point early on where you guys kind of took momentum and just never gave it back. Mm-hmm. What changed early there, and how were you able to do that? Yeah,
I think a lot of it was to do with Dante. I think Dante was almost surprised how much time he had, and was almost a little bit too quick to give up the ball, and they were trying to trap on the press when Dante played to Carlos or when Dante played to Tyson. That was almost their trigger to jump us and try and stuff us. And Dante just needed to recognise that with the time he had, he could take it and wait for things to develop a little bit more, wait for our midfielders to rotate and circulate a little bit more in order to find some really effective solutions that then allowed us to go downhill. And once we kind of unlocked that and recognized that that was a really good solution to break their first line of pressure, I'm not sure their front line was all that thrilled about having to, chase Carlos as he turned the corner, chase Tice as he could turn the corner, or when we could release Koz or Nacho. So the game stayed in a really dominant area of the field for us.
How far up they played? How big was Marcus being able to outrun them? That first one.
Yeah, that was a big part of what we had scouted in terms of like kind of where they hold their line and again this kind of man-to-man orientation that they've adjusted to in their structure. We talked a lot about the relationships between our wingers and our forwards and how we might be able to disrupt the back line and need to be prepared certainly early in the game to try and play behind the line and break that. And it was effective, and we also talked about, because of the nature of how they structure things, that there would be space between their front line pressure and their back line, and ball retention would be a really, really important thing if we played into the feet of our front line. And obviously, as I mentioned, Marcus was a man today with how he handled them. So anytime it went into his feet, not only did he hold it up, but he brought others into the game or looked dangerous, as well as when he ran behind the line. So he's a dual threat. We've known that for a long time, and sadly, I think Marshall have known that for a while as well.
How big was Carlos tonight? He hasn't played the last couple of games with an injury. He gets back in the lineup tonight, and he just plays stellar.
Yeah, I mean that's the other one, right? Like that's another harsh one for Nick or for Bryce, for Tristan. But we know what Carlos is, and we know how important he is. We know he's the most communicative leader and vocal leader and presence that we have on the field. So. Things have been trending in a really positive way in training, in other minutes that he had. Obviously, he came on late against Kentucky, so we were just keeping a watchful eye on him and hoping he could go for as long as he could. But it was also nice to be in a situation where we knew we could take him off and feel really, really comfortable bringing Nick into the game as well. And then obviously feeling like we can reward all the seniors and have them have part of today's experience, because they all deserve it.
Team's been at its best so far this season whenever, in terms of keeping possession, whenever Chris, Stu, and Martinez have been together in the midfield. How big is those two together, and how much of that just go into playing those two together today?
Yeah, they move off the ball well. They both enjoy being in possession. Cos loves finding solutions and being part of our build structure. But he's intelligent with how he kind of rotates out of the middle and kind of finds solutions down the side, which was important in the nature of their kind of front four contained structure in their press. But yeah, it's been obviously something where they were paired together at the start of the year. We were still figuring some things out, and then we've put them back in there together here in this kind of last stretch for a little bit. And I think there is something to be said for finding that balance of how we rotate, how we solve issues of what the opponent might do, how we keep everyone engaged and make sure that the squad understands that they all have a role to play. But also the continuity of picking teams where players know that they can get into some kind of rhythm. And I think with those two, the nature of their relationship has blossomed and continued to improve as the season's gone on. So they were both outstanding again today.
Coach, you got South Carolina last, and obviously with Kentucky, with their results looming, how do you keep your team focused just going into their last?
Yeah, like I said, we have to recognise that. They get a little moment now to enjoy it, but everything we do between now and Tuesday is to make sure that the seniors get another opportunity to play here. We're not second yet. We've obviously still got a chance to win the league, but not if it's all for nothing when we go to South Carolina, who there's a very good chance, I haven't seen the results, but there's a very good chance they'll be in a position where their postseason has already started. If they don't win, I don't know that they'll have an opportunity to play in the conference tournament. So, the first round of their conference tournament starts against us on Tuesday. So we can't take that lightly, and I think there should still continue to be that burning energy inside us almost to again make sure that we finish on 21 points, which will be a higher point tally than last season, and give ourselves a fighting chance to win the conference.